Meryl Streep is an actress that is often...
Oh, no. Oh, come on, why? Her. Again.
Meryl Streep is an actress that is often praised for her seeming ability to play any part. And as cliche as it is, she's my favorite. Whether she's changing her voice, her hair, her physicality, or wearing a bunch of prosthetics, she's definitely presented a wide variety of characters. There is a through line, however, that connects the majority of her roles. More often than not, Meryl is playing some kind of mother. Good mom, bad mom, fun mom, strict mom, sad mom, dead mom, witch mom, fox mom.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
Sometimes she's a new mom, and sometimes not.
And that is it.
It seems it's been a mission for her to play any version of a mom that you could think of. So I decided to make my own list ranking Meryl's best moms. However, I wanted to focus more on the acting and how interesting the character is, rather than this just being about a mom you might want to have. I've divided her roles into 4 separate categories just for a little structure. We'll go through the dream moms, the complex moms, the nightmare moms, and the tragic moms. These 12 moms will be ranked based on the combination of effectiveness as a character and overall performance. And just to be clear, this is just my opinion. I'm sticking to films and television because that is what she's best known for, and I can't include everything.
I can't be at every ceremony, in person.
So sorry for not including your favorite in advance. And warning, it will definitely include spoilers for all of the movies and TV shows included. Eleanor Shaw is a role originated and played superbly by legendary actress Angela Lansbury. Following up on such an iconic performance would be near impossible for any actress, but Meryl was able to make the role her own.
No, Senator, I would and I will do whatever is necessary to protect America.
Eleanor, as a mother, is pretty much your worst fear realized, and that's why she's the first of our nightmare moms. She's a manipulative and tyrannical person who literally brainwashes her son to gain political power. It's even implied in both film adaptations that she desires her son and possibly takes advantage of him in his hypnotic state.
I play a loving mother.
While she insists that what she does is for her son, it's clear that her actions have a lot more to do with her personal ambitions than anything else. And in the end, it's what gets both her and her son killed.
I'm a believer. I am an optimist. I believe in the future. And people who do, the ones who make history instead of just sitting around watching it, no, they're willing to take the big risks.
Eleanor is divinely imperious and wicked. You can tell Meryl had fun here and relished roasting the personalities of DC politicians. One second she has a charming, fake smile painted on her face, and suddenly with a crunch of ice you see the real person underneath it.
But I want you to know, Raymond, I did this for you.
Lee Wakefield is the first of the complex moms, which seems to be Meryl's bread and butter as far as mother roles are concerned. While technically this movie has more to do with the relationship between the two sisters, Lee's motherhood is a major focus in the story.
Eat the chip or no Disney World.
You know what? I could give a fuck about Disney World, all right?
Ow! I don't care where, so I can't see you.
Lee feels suffocated by her family, and she's always trying to escape from the emotional ties and the burden she feels from them. This really shows in the strained relationship she has with her sons, specifically Leonardo DiCaprio's character. It's savage.
My feelings for you, Hank, are like a big bowl of fish hooks. I can't just pick one up at a time. I pick one up and they all come, so I just tend to leave them alone.
She can be cutting and cruel, but it's also clear she's terrified of feeling so responsible for everybody. I think the way she behaves as a mother has a lot to do with her inability to face the emotional trauma she's already experienced with her father and sister. She doesn't always handle things well, but by the end, it's undeniable how much she loves her family and tries to do her best by them.
But just, if you decide to take a ride or something, you ought to let me know. I worry about you.
Lee feels like a real person, and it makes it easy to root for her. Definitely one of Meryl's underrated roles. Kate Golden would have been a dream mom in another story. However, this particular character has a more tragic journey. She's presented as a supermom, active in the community, who's friends with everyone and organizes every function.
This is the steering committee lunch where we plan the Christmas trees. It's very important. I'm going to make chicken paillard, zucchini soup, and my heavenly chocolate cake.
Her and her husband have a seemingly great relationship, and they live in a huge, beautiful house, in large part thanks to Kate's skills as a homemaker. However, behind closed doors, it's not the idyllic family that is presented for everyone. She has a tough relationship with her daughter, played by Renee Zellweger, who doesn't appreciate or understand Kate.
I hate what Jane Austen does in this book, too.
What?
The way she makes Jane, the sweet, domestic one, the good one. She makes her second fiddle to Elizabeth, the one who's the outspoken and smart one. They do it at the college, too. Oh, you keep house. That's terribly interesting.
Yeah, but I don't see...
There's another book that does that, Little Women.
And on top of that, her husband regularly cheats on her, puts his career before her, and seems to be struggling with a serious drinking problem, all while Kate is literally dying of cancer.
The secretary said he had a late class.
Oh. It's too bad.
You just want to hug her and tell her that her family doesn't deserve her. The movie focuses on Kate rekindling a relationship with her daughter, and over time they become very close. Meryl's performance really makes the movie. She's presented as a perfect angel, and then you're made to watch her deteriorate over the course of the film.
I want to talk before I die. I do. I want to be able to say the things. I want to say the deep thoughts.
Okay.
Without you shushing me, because what I say hurts you.
Watching her muster up the strength to go sing Christmas carols one last time will break your heart. Meryl knows exactly how to hurt you, but in such a beautiful way.
Love you, Ellie.
I love you.
This is one of my favorite Meryl movies because it's different from a lot of her early work. It's more subtle and down to earth. She's essentially playing her friend, journalist, writer, and director, Nora Ephron.
Meryl did Karen Silkwood and the Polish person and the Danish person, blah, blah, blah. But the true stretch, if I do say so, was playing me in Heartburn. I highly recommend having Meryl Streep play you.
Rachel Samstad is the kind of mom that you want to hear stories about when you're grown up. Especially that time she pied your father in the face in front of their friends and left him for good because he was an asshole.
Can I have the car keys, please?
It's an opportunity for Meryl to depart from her dramatic and grand roles and play someone more real. Other than that, Rachel is notable because instead of her story dealing with the struggle of mothering, it's about her trying to cultivate a healthy environment in order to be a decent parent.
Don't do this! We have a baby, Mark! We have another baby coming! Don't you even care about them?
The movie really focuses on the relationship she has with her husband and the divorce that they go through. But you can see that her children play a big role in the decisions that she makes as the story progresses. This mother can roll up her sleeves and upend her whole life to get away from a toxic situation that will ultimately be bad for her children. She does so while keeping her dignity and maintaining an endless amount of patience for her child, even in the face of personal strife.
Why don't you say something to the folks back home, Annie?
What? Da? A word? Oh my God! I got it on tape!
Violet Weston is the second mom with cancer on this list, but the difference between the two characters couldn't be bigger.
Because my mouth burns. I have got cancer in my mouth. And it burns. Look. Ah!
Violet is clearly a troubled woman with a wide variety of problems. So much so that cancer doesn't even seem like that big of a deal compared to everything else in her life.
You think there's any way in hell that he would have done what he did if you were still here? No, just him and me. In this house, alone, in the dark, abandoned, wasted lifetimes, devoted to your care and comfort.
Despite the death of her husband and the agony of undergoing cancer treatments, she makes it very difficult to sympathize with her. Violet is off-putting from the first time you meet her.
You think I'm pretty? Like this? Look, careful, careful, careful.
She's constantly in different states of intoxication due to her heavy pill addiction, which fuels her cruelty towards everyone around her. Her daughters all have very different relationships with her, but none of them are good.
You girls just given a college education. Taken for granted, no doubt. Where'd you wind up? What do you do? What do you do? Who are you? Jesus!
She's at once critical of her children as well as withholding emotionally. Meryl is devouring the scenery here, leaning into all of Violet's mess and brashness. Watching her ask for a cigarette while in a drug-induced stupor is both uncomfortable and mesmerizing.
Cigar. Cigar. Cigar.
As is the way she says, Barbara.
Hey, Mom.
Barbara!
I'm here.
Oh, Barbara. Sweet Barbara. Barbara! Barbara! Barbara!
Her story is quite tragic, but I think the way she treats the others around her places her solidly in the nightmare mom category. To say that Hannah Pitt is not the ideal mother is putting it lightly. She is the strict, uber-religious mother of the character Joe Pitt. In the story, Joe struggles with his sexuality after coming to the realization that he is gay. Hannah is brought into the story when he calls her, distraught and drunk, to come out, and she all but ignores him.
I'm a homosexual, Mama. Boy, did that come out awkward. Hello? I'm a homosexual? Please, Mama, say something.
Well, you're old enough to understand your father didn't love you without being ridiculous about it.
What?
You're being ridiculous.
Meryl's emotionally subdued delivery of this scene really helps you instantly understand who this woman is. The character's arc deals with her own struggle over her faith and learning to get along with people who don't align with it. To me, it's clear the driving force to challenging her own beliefs and seeking understanding is the fact that she loves her son, and his situation has stirred her fundamentally.
I tried to discuss it with the bishop. He said they think it's mothers who are too close to their sons that cause this. Well, I guess we disproved that theory, you know.
Although she takes missteps, she is trying to reach her child, and that gives her the motivation to work towards change. She certainly has an interesting journey, forging bonds with unlikely companions, including a sexual encounter with an angel. In the end, she proves that people like her can evolve and become a better person, not to mention greatly improving her style. And as a side note, as far as performances go, you really get to see Meryl flex her muscles here. In addition to Hannah, she plays several very different characters throughout this miniseries, and it gives her a lot of fun things to do. I highly recommend it. Gail Hartman is the kind of mom you want in a sticky situation. She's an incredible river guide and rafter, a skilled survivalist, she knows ASL, and she's a total babe. Other than that, it's clear that she's a wonderful mother.
We will risk death a number of times on this trip, so you're gonna scream your guts out. You're gonna be so happy.
She takes her family on a rafting trip specifically to give her son a great experience and broaden his horizons.
Rourke! Rourke!
However, the story takes a terrifying twist when criminals on the run take them hostage and force Gail to help them escape downriver. She holds this movie together, and I don't think it would be as fun to watch without Meryl behind the reins of the character.
Rourke, you okay? Hold on tight. You love your mommy?
Yeah.
Good boy.
Her sole motivation is to get her family out of danger while having to navigate these horrors. As crafty and unrelenting as the criminals are, they are ultimately no match for Gail.
Listen to me, you little idiot. I'm not bullshitting you about the gauntlet. It's big. It's bigger than anything you've ever seen. And tomorrow, Wade, you're gonna drown in it.
Watch how she kills Kevin Bacon with a single look. She plays the part of the mama bear, fiercely protecting her family with her various skills and sheer determination. In the end, she is the hero, getting her family their happy ending, and looking great while doing it. Really, I can't stress how beautiful she is in this movie.
Bob Benton was a director who really ruined me for everybody that I've worked with subsequently because he introduced the C word, collaboration.
Joanna Kramer isn't the perfect mom, but in reality, she's one you'd be lucky to have. In her first Oscar-winning role, Meryl portrays a character that ended up being very different from the character on the page. The movie was based on a book in which the character of Joanna was apparently more of a villain than the complex, realistic mother that we see in the movie.
I'll have him back by 6.
Unsatisfied with the portrayal of Joanna, the film's director, Robert Benton, gave Meryl the freedom to shape the character. He really credits Meryl with bringing Joanna to life, specifically in the monologue she reworked for the courtroom scene.
Meryl comes in and she says, I've rewritten the scene. I've rewritten that speech that you want me to write. And I suddenly remembered I'd asked her to do it, and I thought, jerk, I'm gonna lose a friend as an actor. I'm gonna lose a day's work. It's gonna be awful. So I say, okay, let me look at it. And I said, it's handwritten. It's not even typed out, and it's too long by about a fourth, but it's perfect.
And I have worked very, very hard to become a whole human being. And I don't think I should be punished for that. And I don't think my little boy should be punished. Billy's only 7 years old. He needs me. I'm not saying he doesn't need his father, but I really believe he needs me more.
In fact, after seeing the movie, it's hard to imagine how they ever thought Joanna was merely a villain. As a mother, she makes difficult choices, but ultimately does what is best for her child. because she genuinely loves and cares for him.
I was thinking about him waking up in his room and with his little clouds all around that I painted, and I thought I should have painted clouds downtown because I came here to take my son home. And I realize he already is home.
Who wouldn't want a mother that cares that much for you and will paint you clouds in your room? This performance really put Meryl on the map.
I love you, Billy.
Lindy Chamberlain is a mom that is pretty down on her luck. Based on the real-life story of a mother accused of murdering her child, Meryl soars in this role.
Why aren't they searching just there? Might have dropped it this close. And I couldn't bear that. She died because he didn't look in the right place.
Lindy was put through the ringer on the international stage and wrongfully imprisoned for a number of years. In fact, it wasn't until the production of this film was already going that she was vindicated. This woman, who was so demonized in the press, is made relatable through Meryl's performance. Lindy's demeanor and strong religious ties stood out to people as suspicious and fueled the media storm regarding her innocence.
Look, I really thought that the way that she was judged in the media and by her countrymen had to do with the way that she looked. You know when you go on TV, you should put a little makeup on and you sort of know how to be a little bit. But these are people who had notoriety sort of foisted on them. They didn't know how to be. They just had a tragedy. They were judged on the television in one-minute sound bites. People decided she did it. I think she did it. Look at her. Look at her face. And what drew me to the story is that I do that. I do that in my living room. People are probably doing it right now. I like her. I don't like her. I'm going to see that. I'm not going to see that.
You can see in this movie how her odd behavior is misconstrued, especially in the scenes where she's being interviewed or questioned on the stand.
And it would seem difficult for a dog to get the baby out of there. I mean...
Yes, well, if you've ever seen a dingo eat, there's no difficulty at all. They never eat the skin. They use their feet like hands and they just pull back the skin as they go. They just peel.
She really makes you feel the pain this character had to endure, and it's as beautiful as it is heartbreaking.
We're talking about my baby daughter. Not some object.
Not to mention her wonderful dialect work and the way she works that bowl cut.
No, he's not. He's at a church convention in Townsville. Oh, that's a load of Aussie bulldust. They're playing games with you.
Donna Sheridan is the ultimate dream mom as far as I'm concerned.
You know, every morning I get up and I thank God that I don't have some middle-aged menopausal man telling me how to run my life. You know, I'm free and I'm single.
Who wouldn't want this mom? She'll raise you on a glorious Greek island while serenading you with the entire ABBA catalog as you grow up.
Slipping through my fingers.
She exudes cool, and everyone loves her. She has a gorgeous tan, angelic long hair, and looks amazingly chill in the overalls that she wears all the time.
Joe, you look fantastic.
You look like an old hippie.
Oh, she looks fab.
She doesn't pressure you about getting married and starting a family. In fact, she encourages you not to, and to stay with her forever in paradise.
Not too late. I can still call off the wedding. Everybody will understand.
Call off the wedding.
However, she is willing to throw you a huge, amazing wedding when you do decide to marry, and doesn't disown you for inviting 3 of her ex-boyfriends to the wedding in a wild, impulsive act.
I better be dreaming you better not be here.
And even when she eventually dies, it isn't tragic, because her ghostly visage can visit to duet with you at your child's own christening.
Like an image passing by, my love, my life.
Plus, her mom is Cher. Really, what more do you need? Mary Louise Wright is such a nightmare. She's haunted. I want to stress that this character is at the top of my nightmare list, more for the performance than the nightmarish quality of the actual character.
Oh, you left that out too.
Though maybe not outwardly as awful as Eleanor Shaw or Violet Weston, Mary Louise is almost pathetic, and you can sympathize with her character, but as the story goes on, she makes it harder and harder.
Well, I'm presented with the idea that my son was both an adulterer and a rapist. And I am desperate to squash that idea.
Well, I can tell you that he's the only man I'd been with.
That you recall.
As good as the writing is, Meryl's performance really takes it over the top. Right off the bat, her presence and demeanor is chilling, even though her motivation is seemingly relatable. Justice for her dead son. The way she is both charming and terrifying to all the characters, especially the children, is masterful.
We should scream and beat our breasts and tear our hair. Don't you feel angry? You don't?
She's often a discomforting presence, but you can't help but feel bad for her. She does seem to want to connect with these people and be a pleasant person in life, but there just seems to be something there that doesn't allow that.
She's a wonderful person.
Well, you're mistaken.
This character shows so much without having to say much of anything. And when she does, it cuts to the core.
Your attorney made me out to be quite the bad mother.
He was just asking questions. You answered them.
Sophie Zawitowski is above criticism as a mother. This is generally considered Meryl's best role, and I think once you see this movie you understand why. Mostly people point towards the brilliant accent work she did for this film, which is incredible.
How many languages do you know?
Well, my father was linguist, so he teach me German, French, Russian, Hungarian, the Slavic languages. So, what language I am butchering now? English.
And the dramatic stakes of the film certainly bump up her performance. But it's amazing to see how magnetic and engrossing she is every time she's in the frame.
When you live a good life, like a saint, and then you die, that must be what they make you to drink in paradise.
Sophie is a mom in the most tragic kind of way. It's not until she reveals a little of her past halfway through the film that you even realize she had kids.
You should have another mother for your children.
In one moment, she seems carefree and in the prime of her life, happy and spontaneous. And then you begin to see the cracks, and as her background is revealed, you realize her life is virtually already over in her mind. This character is haunted by the memory of her children. You can see it in her eyes and how she can't escape it. It's hard to know what to say about this movie other than it's some of Meryl's finest work, if not her best. A must-see.
Do you think I'm letting you down?
Why would you even think that?
So, my point is that Meryl is the ultimate mom. Whether she's the mom everyone wants to have, or the worst mother imaginable, she's the golden standard. There's definitely a lot of Meryl moms I had to exclude from this list for practicality, but they're all great. It was hard to choose. You can definitely see how important it is to her to tell the stories of these women, and that only makes her performances better. At the end of the day, I really just want to appreciate the wide variety of characters she's brought to the screen over the course of her career. And it's not over yet.
I was just trying to be a good mother.